everyone, this is Sima Gold. So today we are making this beautiful ball dress with Peter Pan collar. If this looks like what you want to watch, enjoy, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share my video. So relax and have fun while watching this video. Thank you.
So we are going to be making the beautiful dress that we saw earlier on before this video. So I'll go straight to the point. I have my pattern paper on fold basically for the front part of this style first, and then the shoulder to waist I'm working with is a shoulder to waist of 13 inches. So I'll mark my 13 inches straight down for the front, and then I'll connect it. After connecting it, this lower part will serve as the shoulder to waist for back, which is also 13 inches. So all I'll need to do is to separate them. While my pattern for the front is on fold, my pattern for the back will not be on fold, it will just be one. So that is what I have for now. Then we'll start with the front measurement. For the front, we'll see that it has a kind of a button stand. So this is the center front part of this. This is my center front on. You see that this is the center front is on fold. So we'll mark the button stand to be about 1.5 inch. So when it's open, it becomes about 3 inches. So I would mark 1.5 inches first from the up to the down part of this. Now after doing that, I'm going to fold it inward and just let it be for now. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to start measuring my shoulder measurement immediately after that. The shoulder I'm working with is a shoulder of 12 inches. 12 inches divided by 2 would give me 6 inches. So from here I mark my 6 inches. The next thing I'll be doing is to mark my shoulder slope. So my shoulder slope is about 1 inch. So I'll mark it down here. Immediately after my shoulder slope, I'm going to be marking my armhole depth. I'm working with an armhole depth of 5.5 inches, which is the chest measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. So this is 5.5 here. And I'll go ahead to still mark my shoulder measurement here and connect with a straight line. After doing that, the next thing I'll be doing is to mark my neck width and depth for the front. I'm doing 3 inches by 3 inches. Then I would connect it and then connect it to the shoulder slope. Now I'm going to be inserting my bust measurement. My bust divided by 4 gives me 6.5 inches. So I'm inserting my 6.5 inches here. My waist divided by 4 gives me 6.125, which is approximately 6.1. So I'll be marking my 6.1 here. And the next thing I'll do is to connect this. Then I would go right ahead to mark the back to connect the armhole. I'll go right ahead to connect the armhole back. So I'll get the midpoint, which is 2.75. Then I would go in by 0.25, connect it this way and connect it this way. Having done that, the next thing I'll be doing is to go straight to draft the back pattern. Now for the back pattern, like we said earlier, the shoulder to waist is 13 inches, and after that I'll be marking my shoulder measurement, which is 6 inches. After doing that, I'll get my shoulder slope, which is 1 inch, and then I'll mark my armhole depth, which is 5.5, and then I'll mark my shoulder measurement, which is 6 inches. Then for the neck, I'm using 3 inches by 1. and then I'll connect it like this. Having connecting it, I'll mark my chest measurement, which is 6.5 here, and my waist measurement, which is 6.125 here, and I'll blend it, and then I'll connect my armhole. So having done this, the front is ready and the back drafting is also ready. So the next thing I'll be doing is to cut out. For the back, all I simply need to do is to cut what I drafted already. While for the front, I will need to get another pattern paper to draft this front. So I have a pattern paper that is here that I will place on fold. Then I will cut this front like this. Remember that I've not added my sewing allowance to this. So I've cut the back, the front. Remember, it still has the button stand that we kept earlier on. So what I'll be doing is to just take it without opening the button stand yet, put it here, and cut it out. Now after doing that, I have two fronts. I have the one without button stand and I have the one with button stand. So what I need to do now is to get my fabric. The one with button stand, I'm going to be cutting it out right now. So the fabric is here. I'm going to be cutting, including the button stand and everything, on fold like this. And then I'll cut. Now I'm going to be adding a sewing allowance of 2.5 inches or 2 inches. So it depends on you. You can add 2.5 or 2 inches. Then all I'll simply do is to take note of where the button stand is on the fabric, on the upper part and on the lower part. You could as well as give it a slight notch, as it will help you when you are about to sew the button stand. So having done this, you keep it aside. Now we have the front part that doesn't have a button stand. So what I will do first of all is to target the middle part of this, and then I will come down from the basic neck that I drafted by at least 3 to 4 inches or 3.5. So let me do 3.5. I'll come down by 3.5 here, and then for the neck or the shoulder, I would go inward by 1.25. That's 1.25. After doing that, I'm going to open. What I will simply be doing is to connect from here, down to here and down to here. That's all. So I'll be needing 2 of these. So let me cut out first. So this is what I will be needing here right now. Then after getting this like this, the next thing I'll be doing, from the middle part, I'll be marking at least about let's say about 3 inches to 4 inches straight down. 3 inches to 4 inches straight down, and then I'll cut. So this way we've gotten what we wanted. This is the button stand. Assuming this is the button stand, all we needed was this place to be like this. Why we need two of this? Why the other one will come like that? So we'll go right ahead to cut the fabric for this front now. I have this beautiful Ankara print that I'm going to be using. So the next thing I'll do is to open up my fabric. I'll place it on fold because I need two of this. Remember, the sewing allowance we kept for each side, for the side of the white part we cut earlier, was 2.5. I said you can do 2.5 or 2 inches. I did 2.5. So the next thing I will simply do is to cut. So after cutting, this is what I have here. After cutting, this is what I have. All you simply need to do again is to get the middle part that would be overlapping and give it a slight notch, so that you have something like this, so that you can have something like this, and your whites will be there too. So we're actually getting to what we want. Let's say this is the button stand we are looking for. Now this is the stand, this is the Ankara on top of it, and this is this one here. I would prefer when the this Ankara is placed this way, so you can see that we are actually getting to what we want. If you feel like you want this to get lower, which I feel I want to, I'm going to be reducing it more lower than it's looking already. You can do your correction of that on your pattern paper first, but I don't see the need. I will just step down a little bit by 1 inch, connect it back here, and then blend it into this place and cut out again. Do not forget to notch the parts that they will both be meeting at. So this is where they will both be meeting at. I feel this is more okay for me. So this is okay. I think it's low enough for me now. I'm very comfortable with this opening. This is giving it for me. If you still feel the need to, so far now, apart from the basic neck, what we came down for now is 3 inches. It's not, sorry, not 3 inches, it's 4.2 inches. That's what we came down by now. So the next thing I'll do is to keep this aside, and then I'll cut the back. So for the back, there is no much work here to be done apart from putting your zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. I love to use 1.5 inches for my zipper allowances. So this is 1.5 inch. I'll just mark my 1.5, mark the 1.5 and 1.5 straight down like this, and then I'll cut. Now when you get to the side, for the front we added 2.5 inches, so I'll go ahead to add 2.5 inches again, just like we did in the front. And that's all there is to it. Cut out the zipper allowance. You can as well as mark your back pattern now. So the next thing I'll do is to get the collar. So for the collar, what I will do first of all is to take the shoulder of the front and the shoulder of the back, and then the next thing I'll do is to mask them together first. Now this part is going to be inside. The only thing I needed it for was just for that stand, so I don't have a need for it for the collar. So the next thing I'll do is to get a fresh paper, and I'll place this paper here. Please just follow what I'm doing and you will get it. So I noticed the paper I brought before is likely not to be able to let me construct what I want to do freely, so I thought to change it. Now you join the shoulder together and you place this here. Then you come down from your neck by, say, about let's say 5 inches. 5 inches should be okay, on a straight line. Now after doing that, the next thing you'll be doing is to give it a diagonal shape, because on the picture it doesn't really come straight. It came like this. And then on the shoulder parts of this dress, the cape came out from the shoulder by, let's say, about 1 inch. So we are going to be covering that. We're going to be connecting the cape like this. We're going to be connecting the cape like this. Then I will come to the back. I will still mark that my 5 inches, or let's say I mark 4 inches, depending on you now. And then you can connect the cape this way back. Then if you choose, you can let your cape tuck in, or you repeat the same method we use for the front, which is to go inward a bit on the neck by half of an inch or 0.7, and then slightly connect it out like this too. So that way you know that the two capes are, this one is starting after the zipper allowance, while this other one is starting after, while the front one is starting from the neck immediately after the button stand. I'll go over it again. We have our basic neck here and our basic bodies. I went in by 0.7. I came down by about 5 inches, and then I went in here by 0.7, slant it downward here. Then at the shoulder point I extended it out by 1 inch, and then I curved it. So it depends on the way you want the shape to be. You can make it slightly curved or entirely curved. So when you do that, you now come to the back, come in by half or 0.7, slant it to the zipper side, and then curve it back to this place. It's that simple. Now I will first of all trace this neck. Remember that this collar is starting from here, so I will start tracing it here to this point where it's stopping. And after doing that, I will get my tracing wheel and I will simply follow this shape. I'll follow this shape, and after getting that shape, I'll get my marker. I'll trace it here and label it as center back, so I don't mix it up at all. And then this is the center front. So our collar is actually ready. The only thing I'll do now is to cut it out. having gotten the collar, the next thing we are going to do is to cut it on the fabric actually. And we need 4 pieces of this collar. So what I would do is to just fold my fabric on bias form. I'll fold it on bias form into 2, and I'll fold it on bias form again. Now the reason why I am folding it on bias form is because I want it to maintain that curvy shape. I don't want it to be hanging. I want the collar to really relax. So it's not about knowing how to cut the collar on the paper. You also need to know how to transfer this collar to your fabric. So I need 4 pieces, and this fabric is already folded into 4 on bias form. Then the next thing I'll be doing is to try as much as possible to have space for my ease. So let's cut together. Now you just slightly insert sewing allowances, joining allowances on this white cotton. Insert joining allowances. So now we can say that the collar is ready. So after cutting all of this, I will go right ahead to cut the lining for this front. I'll cut the lining for this front. I'll cut the lining for this back. I'll take these collars, I'll put hair stay. I don't want it to be so thick, so I'll put hair stay on them, and then I'll come back to show us how to sew it together. Okay, so this is the front. I ironed hair stay in between this space here, in between this space here. Then this is the collar. I've added my hair stay. So what I will simply do right now is to get this front, fold it into 2 equal parts, and remember when it was on fold is 1.5, so I will mark that 1.5 and sew straight down. I'll just keep marking the 1.5 and sew straight down. So after sewing straight down, this is what we have. We have something like this. I will get the middle part of this and I'll give a notch. I'll get the middle part here and I'll give a notch. And I'll pin this middle part to the middle of this, like this. And I will do the same pinning here. After pinning, I will lay it flat like this. I'll run a straight stitch by this side, and I'll run another straight stitch by this side. So after running the straight stitch, this is what we have. This is what we have after running the straight stitch. So I'll just blend the neck equally now. After blending the neck equally, I'll keep this one aside. Then the next thing I have is my collar. One part of the collar does not have ST, while the other one has ST. So what I will simply do is to turn the collar from this side. I'm not going to be turning the neck part. I will just turn this part, and this part, then give it a good press. So after doing the collar, this is what we have now. You can see the two colors. After turning it, you give it a good press and you top stitch the neck part. So I'll keep this aside. So remember that I said when we were cutting the front, your front lining would not have any stand. Your front lining is supposed to just be flat. You cut it without that stand, just the way we cut everything. Just cut your lining without the stand, the button stand. And then this is my back lining. So the only thing I'll be doing now is to join the shoulders together for the linings. Then I'll join the second shoulder together. Just join the both shoulders together, and that's all for the lining for now. So after joining the shoulders, I have the two fronts here now, the one that will be on top. So all I simply need to do is to sew here. Okay, let's sew together. Let's sew one part together. It's just to sew here. When I sew it, I'll lay it flat.